people, keeping your head to the sky. Yeah. Woo! When in the midst of sorrow, you can't see up when you're looking down. A brighter day tomorrow will bring.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your old star Zay, and the Vanderbilt Lady Commodores have established themselves as National Championship Contenders as they defeated the 5th-ranked LSU Tigers 65-61, which was their first victory against the top 5 team since 2009. And because of that, they entered the top 10 of the AP poll for the first time since 2007. Vanderbilt women's basketball is back and better than ever. And let me start by saying this isn't the first time that they've had success, but this feels different because during the 90s, they were a great program led by the great Jim Foster. As during his tenure as head coach, they had 1 Final Four appearance, 5 Elite 8 appearances, and 8 Sweet 16 appearances. And after he left, they continued their success under Melanie Balcom. As during her tenure as head coach, which was from 2003 until 2016, they have 4 Sweet 16 appearances. And so again, y'all, this is not the first time that Vandy women's basketball has had success. This isn't the first time that they won a lot of games. And this isn't the first time that they've been in the national spotlight. But what makes this era of Vandy women's basketball different from the previous eras of Vandy women's basketball is this, y'all. During the 90s and 2000s, they were supposed to win a lot of games because they had established themselves as being a great program that produced great players. And some people have said, y'all, that they actually failed, that they actually underachieved with Melanie Balcom because with her, yes, they made 4 Sweet 16 appearances, but they never were able to advance past it. They never were able to make it to the Elite 8 or the Final Four like they did with Jim Foster. And some people just feel like they did not succeed with her as being a head coach. And I think that's a little harsh to say, y'all, because she still didn't win a lot of games. She still did lead them to 4 Sweet 16 appearances. But that's what happens, though. When you establish yourself as a great program that produces and that has great players, people are going to have great expectations for you, y'all. And a lot of people felt like that during the 90s and 2000s, Vandy women's basketball should have at least won 1, if not multiple, national championships, y'all, and they failed to do so. But this era of Vandy women's basketball is different, y'all, because they were not supposed to be here. When Shea Ralph took over in 2021, this was a program that had not been to the NCAA tournament since 2014 and had a very poor roster. So she had to build this program from the ground up, y'all. And the first thing she had to do was establish an identity and a culture. And her first couple of seasons, they didn't win a lot of games, but she established a great culture and she established an identity that they were going to be a tough, hard-nosed, physical team, y'all, that played for one another and that was willing to do whatever it took to win games. And once you establish a strong culture and a strong identity, y'all, then you can go out and recruit great players to your program because they're going to believe in what you're doing. They're going to believe in your vision, y'all. And that's why you're seeing every single year they've gotten better under Shea Ralph. Why? Because she's been able to successfully recruit elite players to their program, y'all, because they believe in what she's doing. They see, okay, the first couple of years, they didn't win a lot of games. But then in year 3, y'all, they won 23 games, went to the NCAA tournament. And year 4, which was last season, they won 22 games and went back to the NCAA tournament, y'all. So the last couple of years, Vandy has been a solid team. You know, they made a couple of NCAA tournament appearances, y'all. Didn't win in the NCAA tournament. They did make those appearances, nevertheless, y'all. But this year is different because no longer are they just a solid team. No longer they're just a team, y'all, that's happy with going to the tournament. No, they're a great team who is looking to compete for a national championship, y'all. And I think they can do it because I love this team. And I want to start with Sasha Washington because she's one of my favorite players in women's college basketball. She reminds me so much of Ben Wallace when it comes to her toughness, her physicality, and her rebounding, y'all. She is an absolute dog. She brings the energy every single game, and she's the heart and soul of this Vanderbilt women's basketball team. So I love her, y'all. Then I also love Jada Brown, who is their senior backup point guard, y'all. She has been here through the bad times. Now she's, here through the good times, y'all. She doesn't play a lot, but when she does play, you definitely feel her impact. Jada Brown is a really good shooter. She's a tenacious defender, y'all. And then I got to show some love to a couple of their freshmen, y'all. The first one is Aubrey Galvin. She's already, to me, in my opinion, one of the best playmakers, one of the best on-ball defenders in women's college basketball. She's averaging nearly 7 assists per game and over 3 steals per game, y'all. She's been tremendous. And then there are other freshmen, y'all. Ava Black has been tremendous as well in terms of her three-point shooting. She's shooting nearly 42% from 3. And then, y'all, we have Ayanna Mitchell, who I believe is one of the best backup power forwards in women's college basketball. She's very athletic. She's a versatile defender. She finishes well around the rim. So I think she's a good compliment to Sasha Washington, y'all. But the woman of the hour, y'all, the superstar of this team is none other than Miss Michaela Blakes, y'all. As we all know, she's one of the best players in women's college basketball. She's a 3-level scorer. She's a great passer. She's a tenacious, tough defender, y'all. And she is the player that Shea Ralph needed. Shea Ralph needed a superstar player like Michaela Blakes, y'all, that could just really elevate this Vanderbilt team. And you got to give a lot of credit to Shea Ralph for being able to successfully recruit Michaela Blakes, because, y'all, Michaela Blakes was getting offered from the top teams in the country like South Carolina, UConn, LSU, Louisville, Notre Dame, all the great programs in women's college basketball, y'all. She got an offer to go there. But she chose to go to Vanderbilt. Why, y'all? Because she saw what Shea Ralph was building. This is why I said earlier, when you come to a program, y'all, that's in the midst of a rebuild, you have to be able to establish an identity and a culture. Because once you do that, it's going to make life so much easier for you, y'all. Because players are going to see what you're building, and they're going to want to be a part of that, y'all. Michaela Blake saw it and said, yep, I want to come be a part of this. I want to come turn Vanderbilt basketball into what it used to be, y'all. And that's what she's done. And that's really what this entire team, that's what the entire coaching staff has done, y'all. So I love this Vanderbilt women's basketball team. I absolutely think they're national championship contenders. They were actually my pick, y'all, to make it. They were my sleeper pick, I should say, to make it to the Final Four, because I saw, their team that they had, y'all. They have star power, they have depth, and they have an elite coach in Shea Ralph, y'all. Shea Ralph is one of the best coaches in women's college basketball. I know there's a lot of great coaches out there, y'all, like a Don Staley, like a Kenny Brooks, like a Kim Mulkey, like a Niele Ivey, y'all, like a Gino Orama, but she is up there with them, y'all. Shea Ralph is truly one of the best coaches in women's college basketball. And again, this team has everything it takes, y'all, to compete for a national championship. So Shea Ralph and Vanderbilt Commodores, keep doing your thing, and I cannot wait to see you ball out the remainder of the season. So there you have it, man. This is me discussing the resurgence of Vanderbilt women's basketball. Remember, y'all, lapsing messages of what? Make sure you get your daily dose, y'all. I'm in it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.